Well, hello, good evening, and welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation post-match podcast with me, your host, Owen, the channel that brings you your team every single day. Guys, if you just found the channel, this channel brings you free daily content, guys. We don't charge you for any of it. It is all free. We're not like those Patreon sites that expect you to pay for your daily news. We believe here on Glasgow Rangers Nation that you should be all fans should be able to access everything. A bit colder this evening, got my jacket on. Also, all the social media where you can find the channel on Facebook, on Instagram, TikTok, X, Twitter, whatever it's called these days, all down below, plus our email address if you want to get in touch with the channel. Well, guys, how do you all feel tonight? Do you feel a bit better tonight? Are you feeling better after that performance this afternoon at Ibrox against Hibernian? Did the live stream earlier. Phenomenal response, guys. Thank you so much for your support. Brilliant to have you on board. After all, what is more important to me than anything is having you guys here involved on the channel. So listen, they will been given the details of what the gaffer wants, and then I think John Davis is saying that any players who can't cut the mustard need to be shipped out. So we had some new members join during the live earlier. Olivia, 17, and Raison Deathrow, which is a fantastic name. John O from the Isle of Man says, what about those filthy scumbag supporters? I'd ban them from the stadium. Now, for those of you who don't know what John is talking about, I think this is what he's talking about. I might be wrong. But some Hibs fans left some stickers and other things in the away end referencing and making fun of the Ibrox disaster. Something that here on this channel we utterly condemn anybody for belittling anyone dying. It is absolutely disgusting behaviour. I hope that whichever Hibs fans were responsible for that are found and are banned for life from every Scottish football ground in Scotland and are banned from every football ground in the UK. There are families out there that are still affected by the Ibrox disaster, that have lost loved ones. Under no circumstances should anyone ever go to a football game and not come back. That's not how it works. It's not war, guys. It's not right. Okay, so I think that's what he's talking about. Yeah, we utterly condemn it. And if you did it, if you're a Hibs fan and you picked this up at any point, you would disgrace. Once followed as not a summer make, Mr. Dessers, James Hendry says. I think he's referencing the fact that James scored a goal. William O says, good start by Philippe Clement. Let's keep building and moving forward. I wholeheartedly agree with your comment there, William. Sophia Clark says, great start for Clement. Looked better today. Sima, amazing. Dessers scored, but still looked poor. What else have we got here? We've got RFC agreeing. Dave McDave. What a lovely, what a name, man. What a name. He says, thought boys played well today. Glad BB went off. He was garbage while he was on. Let's hope it's seasoning. That's a bit harsh, Dave. Bit harsh, mate. Stuart says, that performance just shows how much Beale was out of his depth. Stuart is absolutely spot on. You know, if you watch that, if you go back and if you were to watch the Aberdeen game and then straight after it watch the Hibernian game, and you were to say to an independent, someone who hadn't watched Rangers before, they're basically the same players in those two games. What's the difference? And you've got to outline that it's got to be something to do with the manager, with the coaching. And one thing for me, and we'll get to your comments, we'll carry on with your comments in a minute, because after all, this is why I'm doing the pod tonight, is to get to your comments and get your views. That's what we want to do tonight. But it is quite remarkable that, you know, the difference one manager and one man can make. You know, one of the things, I don't know if any of you have seen his post-match press conference that Philippe Clement did. He was asked, was he impressed with the game today and the performance and the result? And he said, impressed is a big word, and I am happy. Now, for me, that is quite telling. The fact that he is, you know, and he said he went on to explain and kind of put more meat on the bones. But he said that there is a lot still to improve, and there is a lot of improvements still to make in this team, and there's a lot of steps forward. And he said it was nice to see that the seeds that they had sown this week had started to sprout and to grow. And I think one positive is, and look, we've got to kind of think that this is one game. Let's just get, I mean, look, it's hard, isn't it? And I know as fans, we react in a certain way after a fantastic performance like that, you know, and I know sitting here tonight and sitting out there tonight, and a lot of you will be going, wow, we're going to win the league. We're going to win all 4 trophies. The quadruples on. We can do this. We're going to win everything. One swallowed is not a summer make in terms of, echo the comment from earlier, you know, in terms of the results. It is about now taking this, pushing forward, and building on this. And if there is improvement still to be made, and if there is improvements we can still make upon this today, that is fantastic. But the players need to keep working as they are. They need to keep developing as they are. Blue Nose, one of our new channel members, says, good evening, Owen, and all teddy bears in the chat. Good evening, John. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Guys, only been in for 5 days of this team, and the difference is massive. I honestly don't know what Beale was doing, mate. Do you know what? I don't think any of us do. I think it just shows what an absolute chancer Beale was. RRM, that's what a team with a backbone looks like. You know, RRM, one of the things that really stood out for me today, I don't know if it stood out for you or any of you out there, was the fact that there was fight there was battle there. And I think Philippe Clement picked up on this in his post-match presser when he talked about the fact that out of possession, we were as good as in possession. The fact that when we lost the ball, we chased back, we got back after them, we tackled, we fought, we battled. We didn't just go, lost the ball, someone else can deal with it. Everybody was running, everybody was fighting, everybody was trying to get that ball back. There was a really strong desire. And I know part of it will be the desire to impress the new manager. And I get that. And Philippe Clement needs to take that and keep that moving forward. I understand that this is part of the thing. It's a new manager bounce, but it's about taking that now and pushing it on and stepping it forward. One result does not a season make, and I know that, and it's about doing. But you know what? Philippe Clement knows the same. Watch the presser. He says it's not about just doing it today. It's about doing it on Thursday, and then next week, and then the week after that, and then the month after that, and then the week, and then the year after that. It's about continuing that process of moving forward. And he talked about the fact that, you know, they're going to have a lot of games in a very short period of time, and it's not about feeling tired. It's about keeping going forward and keeping working. So I think he was spot on with that. Great result, Owen. Good performance from the team. Things are only going to get better. Ewan, I love the optimism there. Hopefully. Huckster says, please for Dessers. You think he will prove you wrong, Owen? Look, Huckster, I'm going to make one thing clear. I don't hate Searle Dessers. I don't hate any of our players. That's not the way it is. I would love it if Searle Dessers scores 25 goals this season or 20 goals this season. I would love him to prove me wrong. In terms of opinions, everyone has an opinion. And everyone is entitled to their own opinion. Providing that opinion is not racist, is not sexist, is not homophobic, is not going to offend somebody, then everybody has an opinion and everybody is entitled to their own opinion. We live in in theory, we still live in a country of free speech. We still live in a country that has freedom of speech. And because we have freedom of speech, we can say what we want as long as it isn't racist or homophobic or doesn't, cause anyone, it's not a criminal offence. We can say what we want. And look, Huckster, I would love him to prove me wrong. I absolutely, of course, would love it. I saw a manager on his technical area pushing a team, pulling them over for instructions and not sitting on his arse in the dugout with a blank look on his face. It was spot on. If you watch him, you know what, I would love to go somewhere. I'm sure there probably is somewhere, but a camera that was just on him during the game. Yeah, he's he's giving it this. He's shouting. He's directing. He's showing them what he wants. He's not just sitting there. And that is spot on for me. John O says, we were saying the same before the game. Let's see if he can do it on the pitch. 100%. If Dessers reaches 15 goals this season, well, he will have matched Mark Hateley's first season with us. From then it will be onwards and upwards. Exactly what I was saying, Huckster. If he does it, great. Do you really think that I want Dessers to go out there and fail every week? Do you think I want Dessers to go out there and be an embarrassment every week? Do you think I want him to miss every chance that falls to him every week? No, of course I don't. Why? Because I want Rangers to win every week. I want Rangers to win every single trophy. I want this end of this season us to have the SPFL title, the League Cup, the Scottish Cup, and the Europa League all sat in Ibrox, having won all of them. And if he scored 15 to 20 goals, fucking fantastic. Stuart, if that's what Clement got out of that team thing, what he can help us build with a couple of transfer windows. Exactly, Stuart. Bit of background, bit of more. Nico Raskin is the perfect box-to-box player. Aaron Lager, spot on. I think that's one thing that Nicholas Raskin did really, really well today. Having Lundstrom had kind of been, I think, given this. Look, but a Clement team. This is what I know. I don't know loads about Philippe Clement. I don't watch Belgian league football. I do watch some Ligue 1. I do watch Serie A. Have done since I was a kid. I've got a soft spot for Inter Milan. I watch some Bundesliga. I watch some La Liga. I love football. I watch a lot of football. I watch Championship in this country. Because I'm from Sunderland. But look, at the end of the day, one of the things, if you listen to what Clement team does, a 4-2-3-1 Clement formation does, one player sits, one player goes. That's the way it works. And I think today what he did was spot on. Lundstrom sat, Raskin went. And I think if you're going to get the best out of Raskin, you need to give him that freedom to get forward, that freedom to move forward, to go forward. If you look back at his time with Standard Liège and with the Belgian under-21s, he's not used as a 6. He's not used as a sitter. He's used as an 8. Someone who does go box to box, who does attack, who does not just sit back and quarterback the team in the way that Lundstrom was expected to today, or that our new signing Jack Ryan will be expected to do in the future. That's not the way it works, guys. That's not the way it works. So yeah, he was very good today. Stuart says Dessers was better, but he still don't think he's good enough. Look, like I said, like we've all said, Stuart, and I think we say this about the game's performance today and everyone's performance today. And I'm using the comment made earlier by who was it? Who made the comment? James Henry. I love the quote. I've heard the quote before. One swallow does not a summer make. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? It's about building on today. It's about improving on today. Dessers had a serious injury. He's just come back from before we signed him. It looks like he's lost a yard of pace. Stuart, that's always the worry. If you get an ACL injury or a serious knee injury or whatever, you have always got a situation where you can lose a yard of pace. Take, for example, Paul Gascoigne. Now, when Gaza played for Tottenham before he went out to Lazio, one of the things about Gaza that he had was that he could take a ball, he could run at a man, beat a man, and then turn on the afterburners and go and get away from someone. After he came back from his ACL surgery, when he did the knee ligaments in that after that cup final against Forest, he'd lost that yard of pace, and it affected his international career. And he was never really the player he could have been. Gaza was a brilliant player, don't get me wrong. When he was at Ibrox, he was phenomenal, and I love Gaza. Gaza's probably my favorite player of all time. I love Gaza, but he didn't achieve what he could have achieved. Alcohol, yes, played a part, but that knee injury certainly held him back as well. And it does take away your pace a little bit. The big difference with Raskin today was that players were moving and offering themselves for a pass instead of standing still. That's one of the things I wanted to talk about today. And RM, thank you for bringing it up. You look at the game today and you look at the team today and you look at the way we played today. It was all about movement. It was about forward movement. It was about aggressive movement. It was about looking forward, thinking positively. If you go back and watch that game, yes, there were some backwards and sideways passes, but football is a game where you're never going to eliminate all backwards and sideways passing. But there was so much less of it. There was so much more getting the ball forward, being aggressive. And Philippe Clement talked about that high press. You look at the second half, we were very much high press. We penned them in. We didn't let them get out. We created a lot of chances. I mean, I suppose one of the only criticisms you can kind of have is how many chances we actually missed. We missed a lot of chances, and we could have easily won that game 6, 7, 8-0. There was the Cantwell shot that was saved, the Lammers one that hit the post, the Lammers dragged wide, Sima shot wide, Raskin had a shot blocked. There was a lot of misses, and I think that's kind of the only thing you can criticize. But look, at the end of the day, it was all about forward motion, wasn't it? It was all about getting the ball forward and using the high press to pen them in. And I think we did that very well in the second half. Ewan Minton, every goal today, even Dessers was superbly taken. Strikes, it should have been more. It should have been more, Ewan. I just want to say one thing about that Dessers goal. Go back and watch that goal for a minute. And there's a brilliant shot of it. I can't remember where I've seen it now, which is back onto it. So you're watching it as if you were in the Broom Loan and you're looking down. And you can see Cantwell. He runs across, draws players in, opens the hole, flicks the pass back inside for Dessers, so Dessers can't miss. That ball is a ball only Todd Cantwell could have played. And it just shows how much we have missed him. He's just different class, that boy. I mean, he looked absolute quality. Absolute quality. He really, really has. He looks different class to me. He really does. And that little pass inside for Dessers that opened the door for Dessers and doing something that nobody's managed to do yet this season, which is find Dessers onside and create a proper goal for him. Dessers has scored 3 goals this year. One bounced off him against Servette. One was Robbie Matondo's goal, and the other one was a penalty. That was his first proper finish, and it was created by the brilliance of Todd Cantwell. And Todd was superb when he came on. I think it does show how much we have missed that boy. And you know what? I hope that on Thursday night that he can play from the start and he can play a lot more minutes. And I hope then next Sunday against Hearts, he can play again and play a lot more minutes. I really do. The lad is different class. Tam says, just walk the dog with my head held high. Absolutely, Tam, and rightly so. John says, tip Cyril Dessers to score 2 today. At least I was 50% correct. Lol. Very good, John. Midfield to front, I'd have Jack, Lundstrom, Raskin, Sima, Cantwell, Matondo, and Danilo when all fit. That's a serious midfield attack. Just need to sign defenders for next season. Aaron, I think you're right. We do need to rebuild the defence. That is I mean, don't get me wrong. Look, I've criticised Tav this year, but I actually thought Tav did really well today. I'm going to praise James Tavernier. He did well today. He actually looked like he could defend today. And he also had an extra step of pace from somewhere. And I think part of it is, and I think, yes, he's getting older, and yes, he is losing a bit of speed, as is Borna back. But I'll talk about Borna because I want to address the Borna problem. Connor Goldson, I thought, did really well today as well. There was one moment in the second half where he just used his sheer physical strength to outmuscle someone and stop them from getting a cross in. I thought that was fantastic. Now, one positive to take from today, I think, is that those two defenders look much better today. And, Philippe Clement has talked about fitness, and he's talked about the lack of fitness thereof in this squad. And I think part of it could be down. Part of the lackadaisicalness of certain players and the inability of certain players to influence games could be down to their lack of match sharpness, their lack of fitness. And I think, Clement hopefully has identified that, and he knows that's something that he can address. And look, Aaron, I think you're right. That is an awesome midfield and attack. I think once everybody's fit and back, I think you see Lammers and Dessers come out of the team, and I think you see Danilo and Cantwell start. I think that's probably the way forward. That Danilo will be the starting centre forward over Dessers because he's a better player, and Cantwell will be starting in the 10 role over Lammers. Look, I don't want to criticise Lammers today. Yes, he was unlucky today, but I did think even that he tried really hard today and did work very, very hard. It was backwards and sideways when it was required to pull the ship. Exactly, RM. That's what I mean. It wasn't just backwards and sideways because nobody knew what they were doing. It was super cool finish from Dessers, from a pass he probably never expected, says Tam. Yeah, 100%. I'd argue Hadji could also pass into Dessers. He played a lot more passes like that in the 55 season. Yeah, but unfortunately, we did lose him, didn't we? He isn't at the club anymore. He is on loan. Whether or not we can recall him, I don't know. Possibly. Possibly he can be recalled. But Cantwell is a different class. Big question is, can he make this team do it consistently? And that's the massive. And that's what he said. If you watch his, if you watch the game back, and so we watched the press conference back. My apologies. You actually watch that back, you'll see he actually says that. He talks about it's not just about doing it today. It's about doing it on Thursday, and then next Sunday, and then the next week, and then the week after that, and then the month after that. And it is about growing this and building this performance. Absolutely. I believe that clown Mutton has wound Todd up to that much. He's got now that he has now got I'm going to show you attitude, which is what we need. Absolutely spot on. I think that could be the case, you. And if you look at what Chris Sutton said the other day about Cantwell, yeah, it could be just like that. The rocket, the fuel, the energy that Todd Cantwell needs. You guys know that I follow the NFL. I follow the Pittsburgh Steelers. Our head coach, Mike Tomlin, talks about, bulletin board material. He talks about not giving the opposition bulletin board material. But I think that's spot on. The moment you badmouth a member of the opposition, the moment you say something about an opposition team, the moment you criticize an opposition, you automatically give them that bullet boarding material. You automatically give them that opportunity to come back at you. And I think, Chris Sutton has certainly given Todd Cantwell the fuel that he needs to really fire him on now. And I think, Sutton may regret that, and it may come back to haunt him and haunt his beloved Celtic. RM says you could see the relief on Dessa's face when he scored. I thought he was going to cry. funny, mate. I think they may have found us as a proper manager. Yeah, Tam, that's one of the things I've been saying about him. You watch him on the sidelines, you listen to him in press conferences, and look at him again in the press conference today. No verbal diarrhea, no ridiculous statements, all to the point, all spot on with what you expect from a manager. Spot on. Aaron says, I wonder if the media will continue their shite questions next pre-match press conference, or have they got the hint to cut their shit out? Aaron, I'm hoping they have, because the issue is that under Michael Beale, you could ask him anything and ask him the most ridiculous questions in the world, and he'd answer them because he loved the sound of his own voice. But Philippe Clement is much more to the point and spot on with what he says. Big Phil, in my humble opinion, has got similar qualities to Sir Walter. We've missed those. things for many years, Owen. I'm hoping so, John. I really hope so. And I was listening to Club at 22 last night when I was walking the dog, and I've got to say, I love Club at 22. Club at 22 is absolutely brilliant, absolutely superb, guys. If any of you watch Club at 22 on the live, let them know I praise them loads, because I would love to work with them. They're just fantastic. Scotia and Ali and Carney and all those guys, love them to bits. But I can't remember which one it was now, said that he saw a similarity with Stefan van der Heyden's relationship with Philippe Clement to Archie Knox's relationship with Walter Smith, and thought that could be beneficial to our team. And I thought that was spot on. You know, there's a nice friendship there between the two of them, and I'm hoping Blue knows that you are correct in what you have to say. I think it was Shane Lammers never got a goal. 2, done his confidence to the world of good. Yeah, I think he's still lacking a little bit, Stuart. Look, I want to praise. Look, Sam Lammers. I've called him out. I've criticised him. I've said something, about him. And look, I have criticised him. I 100% get that. But I thought today he worked hard. He tried hard. He never gave up. He never stopped running. He never stopped fighting. He was part of what contributed to that to the Raskin goal. If you watch that Raskin goal back, we lose the ball. We have is it Sima goes for it first of all? It breaks. One of the Hibs players gets it. Lammers then goes for him. The ball then breaks to Raskin. Raskin then goes to, and that finish from Raskin was phenomenal, wasn't it? But you look at that, and before we get on to the whole Lammers thing, the fight from those players to get that ball back and get it to someone who could do something with the ball was phenomenal. And yes, I thought Lammers did really, really well. I thought he fought hard, he battled hard, and at the end of the day, I hope he gets his goal. Honestly, I think there's a player in there. I think there's definitely a player in there. He's got the skill, the technical ability. It's the best about getting a coach who can get it, who can mould it, who can find it, and who can get him to go forward. And I'm hoping Philippe Clement is that man. Clement talks sense, not shite. Absolutely, RM. I was emotional listening to Cyril's presser. I also want him to do well. Look, Blue Nose, like I said to you, I don't hate him. I don't dislike him. I hope he does do well. I hope he makes me eat my words. I really did, because if he does, it's good for Rangers. And that's what we all want. That's what we all want at the end of the day, is what's best for Rangers. Advalta Vedanta, apologies if I've just massacred your name. I think the midfield will be even stronger once Clement works his magic on Cifuentes. I hope he can, Adalta. I hope he can. He definitely has on Raskin. Hopefully he can on him as well. Emma says about Club at 22. Like I said, Club at 22, love Club at 22. I met 3 of the Club at 22 lads on the train in Germany, Owen, by the way. Fantastic. Which 3 was it, Blue Nose? Let me know. William, so you wouldn't play Lawrence, Aaron. In the midfield should be Dow, Raskin and Lawrence with Cantwell floating. Look, William, it's great. We've got options. We've got choices now, haven't we? We've got some real options out there. You've got Dow to come back if he ever does. When everyone's fit, guys, I'm just going to go through with you the midfielders we can. And if Philippe Clement can get them to develop and get them to be the same way that he got that team today to be, let me just run through the midfielders we've got at the club at the moment when everyone's fit. Dowell, Raskin, Lundstrom, Jack. That's Ryan Jack, not Jack Ryan. Wright, Cantwell, Cifuentes, Bailey Rice, Cole McKinnon. I'll cover them all. Matondo can play in midfield as well. Aaron Lyle can play in midfield. McCausland can play in midfield. Tom Lawrence can play in midfield. We've got a hell of a lot of options there and a lot more quality than we've had in the past. And that is spot on. And look, you could have a midfield that is Jack, Lundstrom, Raskin, and it will do well. A midfield that is Jack, Raskin, Cantwell, and it will do well. You could have Bailey Rice, Raskin, Lawrence, Dowell, Cifuentes. Look at the combinations you can have there. Look at the choices. And the thing is, we're going to need to rotate. We're going to need to do that. There's a lot of football coming up. We're playing in the Europa League, hopefully after Christmas. Hopefully, we're playing the League Cup games to come before Christmas, the Scottish Cup games after Christmas, the League games. There's a lot of football, and the bigger the squad, the better. And look, one of the things that Philippe Clement said was that he had 90% availability in his other teams in terms of fitness and players not getting injured and not being out. I'm hoping that's something he can work at Rangers as well. Aaron Larg, hilarious. Mate, Lammers can have a touch like Zidane 1 minute, then Bambi on the ice the next. Yeah, pretty much. Lawrence, I'd have in the inside left forward position, rotating with Matondo. Dow rotate with Raskin, says Larg. I mean, that's another thing. If you look at the formations that Clement's used in the past with an inside forward and a winger. You could have Sima as your winger and your inside forward Lawrence, or you could have Matondo as your winger and your inside forward Lawrence. There's options there, options. Blue Nose John says he bumped into them on the way back from Hoffenheim. I had already spoke to Ryan outside the stadium before the game. Fantastic. We all have our favourites, and I dare say that applies to managers as well. Yeah, but I think with Clement, there's less chance of him having those favourites because he doesn't know the players. He's not been here before. Michael Beale was here before. I'm sure would have struck up relationships with players. Clement hasn't got that at the moment, and none of these players have ever played for him before. And like I keep trying to dispel this myth, and I was pulled in by it as well. Cyril Dessers has never played for Clement. McCausland rotating with Seam on the right. Yeah, absolutely. I thought McCausland was lively today. I thought he did well. There was a couple of bits where he really looked positive. And the more experience we can give the likes of McCausland and Rice and McKinnon and Devine and King and Lowry when he comes back, the better for us. William says, is Jack and Lundstrom going to get goals from midfield though? True, I suppose. It's, it depends who you're playing. It may be that's a formation for Europe, when we go up against, so let's say, for example, we progress in Europe and we go into the knockout stages of the Champions League and we're playing Liverpool or Brighton or Ajax or I don't know who else is in there now. One of the German teams. You may want that more defensive shape away from home. So that's a possibility. That was a good start to our new manager's career. Let's hope it continues and we will be in Europe after Christmas. Obviously, big, huge. I mean, look, today was a great start and it was a good performance and it was a good start for Philippe Clement. It really was. But one thing we've got to do now is build on that, and that starts Thursday. Obviously, Sparta Prague away, always a tough place to go. Prague have had some fitness boosts with players returning. So, yeah, we have to build on that. It's a definite, for me, massive thing we've got to build on. And let's hope we can get into Europe after Christmas, 100%. William, you need at least one midfielder holding. Yep, absolutely, you do. Also realised we dropped ball possession to 50% rather than holding it 70%. Doing, yeah. If you look, Emma, and everyone, I think the split was 51. I mean, look, I'll double check. I've got the statistics on my phone. You know what? My phone is. Most people have pictures of their family, don't they, on their phone? Most people have lots of pictures of what's going on with their families or whatever on their phones. If you go on my phone, it's just all work pictures. Absolutely all work pictures. It's quite hilarious, actually. It is quite funny. Yeah, I mean, if you look at that. I mean, you can just see it. It's all, that's what's on my phone, all my pictures. No pictures of my family, all pictures of Rangers. Here we go, the stats. So the stats from today's game, we had 22 shots, they had 7. We had 8 on target, they had 1. Possession was 52-48, very balanced. Passes, we had 400, they had 389. 85% pass accuracy there, 79% pass accuracy. And it's not always about having shed loads of the ball. It's about being effective when you've got the ball. I think part of that, though, was down to the fact that Rangers... Hibs came and played more today. They actually came out and tried to play us and not just put a low block on. So we didn't have all the ball because, at the end of the day, they had it as well. And it was good because it meant that we could draw them out. We could then press them, get the ball back off them, pen them back, hold them back, move them around. I just thought the football was so much better today. RM says it was a good time for McCausland to come on and get winning experience. Absolutely. That's what we need to be doing. Hopefully this is something that's going to continue in the league, that we start to get 2, 3, 4 goal leads and we can start to use Rice, McCausland, Lovelace, Devine, King, all those guys and get them on. Absolutely. I'm now feeling much more confident going to the Sparta game now, John. You know what? It's great, isn't it? The difference that one result and one performance can make. And look, we've won games under Beale. Don't get me wrong. We have, St Johnstone, Ross Counties, those games, we've won them, but the performances were shocking. The performances were awful. The St Mirren game, even, the performance was awful. And what we got today was something we've been crying out for all season. Not just a victory, but a performance with a victory. And that, for me, was good. 50% of something is better than 70% of nothing. Exactly, RM. How many games have you seen where Manchester City, Barcelona have had 70, 80% possession and then have lost 1-0? I mean, I remember the great Barcelona team of Guardiola, and they had Messi and Kirkic and Xavi and Iniesta and Puyol and Pedro and all these players, Dani Alves, Jordi Alba, and they were playing against Inter Milan, Jose Mourinho's Inter Milan. I think they had 85% possession but lost 1-0. You can have all the ball in the world, but if you don't do anything with it, what's the point? Aaron, you've never heard of rotation. Raskin goes forward. Douse, yeah, absolutely. Guys, don't try not to fall out. Stuart says, I have 2 pictures of my wife and 100 of my dog and my cat. Yeah, the rest of them pretty much my dog, Stuart. It's so good seeing some of the younger players getting their chance now. Absolutely. And I think that's something that Philippe Clement will continue. He's very much about giving the younger players an opportunity. I feel much better about winning the League Cup now, says Tam. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's another strong possibility. William, neither Dow or Raskin are destroyers. Lundstrom and Jack are proper destroyer defensive midfielders. Raskin is a lot better floating around the midfield, as is Dow. And I think that's better. The more freedom we can give these guys to actually go and play, the better. The better for us and the better for the club. So, look, at the end of the day, this was a performance that was more, there was so much more to enjoy about it. There was so much more positive going forward. I thought Abdallah Sima was absolutely fabulous. I thought, excuse me, was brilliant today. Again, I mean, what's the scary thing is we don't own him, and that's worrying that he's not our player. And then we could lose him at the end of the season. I thought he was brilliant today. I thought he did really, really well. The goals he took superbly. Both his goals were phenomenal. The shot across the goalkeeper into the far corner was great. The second one as well, where he's got his back to goal, he spins on it and smashes it in the back of the net. And every time he got the ball, what was his first intention? You can, guys, if you go back and watch the game at all, and I'm talking about the full 90-minute job, watch whenever he gets the ball, Abdallah Sima. What is his intention straight away? Get at someone. Go at someone, go past someone. This was a player we were, so a lot of people were criticising at the start of the season, and I think he's done really well to come back from that. Fair play to Hibs. They tried to have a go. Now we have to see how we perform against a low block. Fair enough, RRM. Yeah, we'll probably see. I don't think we'll see one of those for a couple of weeks now. I think obviously we've got Hibs, Hearts. Next Sunday. I don't think they'll go with a low block. It's just not in the way they play. The last time they came to Ibrox, they drew with us 2-2, so they'll be encouraged to have a go. So look, I don't think that's going to happen. So the next time we're probably going to face a low block is Dundee away on the 1st of November, and then we've got Hearts at home in the cup semi-final, then Sparta Prague at home, then Livy away on the 12th of November. So it's probably not going to be the 1st and the 12th that we're going to see low blocks, and how Philippe Clement can overcome those low blocks. It was a good win, Sean, a very good win. Tam says Schema's second goal was it was. I mean, it's a difficult skill to turn and volley and not to sky it or put it wide. It was a very, very good goal. Clement did say he likes to play players having freedom on the park, but obviously still wants to keep a bit of defensive solidarity also. Yeah, Aaron, it looks like Sima has fallen in love with Rangers. If we're patient, we could get him under a freedom of contract in the future. Agreed, he is only got 1 year left on his deal, and it may even be that come January that Brighton are prepared to do some sort of deal with us. I mean, I know that Brighton are very much a club that are a club that want to buy players and sell them on for vast amounts of money. I mean, you got Alexis McAllister, they bought him for 8 million, sold him for 65. They bought Moises Caicedo for 28, sold him for 116. So their model is very much the model that we're trying to sort of follow, which is to buy young players, develop them, and then sell them on for vast amounts of money. And that's something that I know that Rangers are trying to do. But overall, if we can do that, the better for us. But look, today's performance was so much better. It was a great performance today. It was a very good, positive performance. And I think we need to, obviously, it's all about building on that. It's all about going forward with that performance today. Really starting to do very well. RM says, you're right, the best destroyer I've seen was Marouane Fellaini, the Manchester United guy, like Sideshow Bob with the hair. Jealous. But yeah, so look, guys, it was a good performance. It was a good performance. Do you think he bring in some of the Belgian players or German players in January? There's a chance. There is a chance, sure. I don't know for a fact. I think we do need to bring in players. I think we need a winger. I think we need some defenders. I don't think, though, that January is the time to rebuild the defence. January is a bad window to shop in when you want to rebuild, because teams know that you have got a need to buy. They will inflate prices. Yes, there are players who have got 6 months left on their deal who may be good pickups at that point, but you've got to be careful not to get stung for them, because you could end up paying over the odds for them as well when you can get them for nothing in the summer. So there is always that worry. January is not a great time to actually do that. I'll see your Fellaini and Rachel Makaleli, says Aaron Lark. Yeah, or what was the other guy? N'Golo Kante. Your smelly Tim was we raging. We got rid of Beale and a proper manager. I smell that coming from Parkhead. Let's hope Hearts can do us a favour tomorrow. I would love it if Hearts can get one over on them tomorrow, or even get a draw with them or something like that. Right, guys, it has been a good day to be a Rangers fan, a really good day, you know, in terms of the performance. A good display from the boys in blue today. I thought they did very, very well. I mean, that result just looks very good indeed. And it's about time that we put someone, you know, to 4 or 5 goal Tonkin, wasn't it? And you go for that team today, you know, Butland had very little to do today, and that's fair enough. Tavernier, I thought played well today. I thought James Tavernier, fair credit to him. And he, you know, there's times as well, he had a, you know, he was over talking to the manager and clearly taking on board what the manager was saying. I thought Goldson did well today. I thought Suter was rock solid. And one thing that Suter did really well today for me was bring the ball out from the back and draw their midfield to him to make space. I thought that was very good. Barisic. Oh, yeah, I want to talk about Borna Barisic. I thought Borna Barisic, he was on for 10 minutes. And in that 10 minutes, he was awful. He was absolutely awful. Every ball he played, every pass he played, every cross he tried was absolutely honking. He was awful, absolutely awful. And look, I know there's the worry that we haven't got a left back if he's not fit for Thursday, because obviously Ridvan, stupidly, thanks to Michael Beale, is not in the European squad. Sterling can play there, but he has a massive lack of game time, and that is a worry. I mean, we could go 3 at the back or play Davis at left back. That is a possibility. But I thought Borna was absolutely disgusting today. We go with what we have until the end of the season. You never know. Some of the young guys may step up and save us some money. You're right. John Lee Ifeko could be a step up. He could step up. McCausland, Lovelace, Lyle, McKinnon, any of those guys could step up. Fraser, another one who could step up and play. I'm excited about the high press and intensity football that Clement is implementing in this team. Yes, Jason. Are you actually in Thailand, buddy? That's cool. Yeah, you're right. That was one of the things, and he talked about that in his presser, how he liked the high press, and he talked about how we did that well today, and I think we did do that well, especially second half. In second half, we pinned them in and we didn't let them out at all, and it was nice to see we did something that lot from across the city did, which is when you get your foot on their throats, you don't let it up. You keep your foot on their throats and you keep on pressing till you choke them out. And it was nice to see us doing that for a change, and not just them from across the city. Borna shite bag. Aaron Larg says even the Zagreb manager said he didn't want Borna. I was the Hajduk split manager. He said that he watched Borna in the games against Wales and Turkey, and he thought he was negative. They thought he passed back too much. They thought he was too slow. That he wasn't good enough. And that's interesting, isn't it? Coming from a manager in his home country. RRM says not only did he take the handbrake off, he tuned up the engine as well. Absolutely. How many backward passes did Borna play in such a short time he was on the pitch? An awful lot, mate. An awful lot. Borna was honking today again. And it's time that we sold Borna and we got rid of Borna and we moved him on. I thought Lundstrom played well today. I thought Lundstrom had, and you know that I've criticised John Lundstrom. You know that I've called John Lundstrom out on several occasions here on the channel and called him a serial loser. I thought he did well today. I thought he tried hard today. I thought he fought. I thought he played some good balls. I thought he did exactly what was clearly had been asked of him, which was to sit in front of the back four and defend. And I thought he did that very well today. And he did exactly what was asked of him. I thought Raskin was excellent. Now, I had an argument with someone on Twitter earlier who said Raskin was lazy today. That's rubbish. Yes, I don't think he was great before his goal. He scores that goal and it kind of re-energizes him and brings him back to life. I thought he covered every blade of grass. I thought he tackled well. I thought he got forward well. I thought he helped the defence well. I thought, look, Raskin had a very good game today. Sam Lammers, I've praised. Abdallah Sima was great. Scott Wright did okay. Searle Dessa's got his goal. Wasn't great, wasn't terrible, was very okay today. I thought Ridvan did well when he came on, was a real threat going forward. The referee gave him no protection whatsoever. I thought some of the fouls on Ridvan were a disgrace and that they got away with it. I thought Danilo did okay when he came on, but again, he's coming back from an injury. Cantwell, like I said, was phenomenal. And if Cantwell had been on for the pitch for the whole game, he would have been one of my contenders for man of the match. Who's going to play left back on Thursday? Derek? I don't know. It could be Davis. It could be Balogun. Balogun's not in the European squad. It could be Davis, I suppose. It could be Sterling. Or Borna could be fit. And Barisic, that's about it. Lol. Says Tam. Borna, 3 back passes and fall over is a recurring theme, says RRM. Yeah, did he bottle it? Yeah, he could do Blue Nose. He could do that. Is a possibility. I think Tav could do a job like Raskin does, just float in central midfield, give Sterling and Adam Devine a crack at right back because Tav's legs are going for bombing up and down the wing. I mean, it's certainly been something that somebody's thought of and people have discussed about giving Tav the chance to play in midfield. Well, guys, I'm going to call that a Saturday night. Thank you so much for coming on the pod tonight, the post-match pod. It's been a great day for Rangers. It's been a fantastic result. We go on, we move forward, we keep on fighting. Now, obviously, guys, look out for content here on the channel. Best way to make sure you don't miss out is to sub and then hit the notification bell, then you'll never miss out. So obviously, look out for tomorrow morning's video. There will be a news video tomorrow morning, a Sunday supplement, as always. And then, obviously, every morning there will be a news video going forward throughout the week as we build towards the Sparta game on Thursday and then, obviously, the Hearts game on Sunday. There are 2 podcasts, guys, coming up next week. On Monday, the podcast is myself and Scott McPike from Rangers Assessment is coming on the podcast on Monday. So look out for that. It is 5:08 on Monday, so look out for that. And then on Tuesday at 7:35, I've got Caroline Morrison and Marina Ballantyne from Heart and Hand on the pod as well. So back-to-back pods, back-to-back lives. Come and join me for those Monday, Tuesday. Ewan Minton says, it looks like Barisic is down tools like Kent and Morelos did last season. You would think he would want to up his game with the Euros next summer if Croatia are there. Yeah, it could be the fact that he doesn't want to risk getting injured. You can pick fault for me, but that was a team performance. All they'll do their job is easier if the manager tells them what the plan is. And that's what it looked like, RM. It looked like they actually knew what the manager wanted them to do, what he asked them to do, what the structure was, and how to play. Absolutely. 100% correct, RRM. RRM, you always give some fantastic comments. Thank you very much for coming on. Have a great rest of your weekend. Now, get the brewskis. Cheers, Owen. Cheers, Ewan. Buzzing. Aaron Larg says Victoria is missing in action since Hadji left. She's just been very busy with work. She's had a lot on. She's obviously got that new dog as well. Definitely. It's just that she's been very busy, mate. That's all it is. That's literally all it is. I know she's got she'll know her work schedule in the next few weeks, so we'll be able to come on in the next few weeks. So she will be around, mate. She will be around. Aaron, not a problem, buddy. And we've got a comment from James McCauley. Scumbag spoon burners wouldn't let any of them back inside our box. Obviously, James is making a reference here to the fact that that they did that thing with the Ibrox disaster stickers, which was disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Okay, a quick last couple of comments before I call it a night. Jay says Mon the ham farts, lol. And a comment here from Blue Nose says, great evening to be a Rangers fan, Owen. Absolutely, Blue Nose John. And Blue Nose John says, can Victoria get me a discount on plane tickets to Canada, Owen? I'll ask her for you, Blue Nose, if she can get you a discount on tickets. I'll send her a message shortly. Okay, guys, thank you for watching. As I always say, 2 things I need you to do for me on the way out. Number 1 is smash the like. Number 2 is tell your friends. Actually 3 things. Number 2 is tell your friends about the pod, get them to subscribe. And number 3 is remember, we are the people.